Welcome to lesson number 7 in Book B. We're starting to roll along here. We're working on our chords and playing some harmonics. We want to make sure that when the child plays, that their wrists are up and that their fingers stay round when they play. We don't want any concaving fingers while they play. Make sure their wrists are up when they do that. That's the best way to do that. We've got to grow those muscles so that we don't have to undo some bad habits. Remember, habits are built at home. That's why having the parent help with practicing is so important, because they can fix it for me, but the habit is what happens at home. So this lesson really is about just practicing those harmonics again, and we're adding a new symbol. The new symbol we're adding is a rest. Now we've just been taking these rests. We've just had blank spaces where we know that we're not supposed to do anything, and so we ignore that space, but normally there is something there. There's a rest there. So we're going to look at the quarter rest, and we're going to look at the whole rest as well, which means that instead of just having the one hand wait, we're going to actually have it rest. Those are our musical terms. Some parents, when they're trying to get their child to understand what a rest is, they've told me that they've used a different word. One, I think, recently used the word stop. So instead of saying rest, they say stop. And so they would play it like this: stop, stop. And so they would say that to get the child to actually stop playing. Of course, we need to work that word rest back in, because that's the term that we need to use while we're playing. So today this week we have 16 and 17 in the lesson book. We have one in the solo book, one in the technique book. At home, you want to start with the technique book. This one, it goes like this, taking turns. It starts on our fourth finger on F. It starts forte. It starts on a half note. Rest. And then our chords. Rest. Rest. Right. And so the idea here is that they need to watch which are fast, which are slow, and which are nothing at all. And then when they finish that line, it continues. Remember, we've got a rest here. So I'm going to start with this phrase, and then I'm going to continue playing it just so that you can hear the amount of space that belongs here. It's just one beat that you play, nothing. Thirds. And then you continue playing. So you want to take that rest, use the repeat to jump up and see if they can continue playing without adding any extra beats in there. Okay, Quiet River. This one is a little bit harder, because what we're doing is we're playing two notes at the same time. This is the first piece where we actually play one note in the left hand, which is the F, and we play one note in the right hand, which is the D. Generally at the lesson, I always start with having them just do that. Just look at their hands. Get the feel of that. It's finger 2 and finger 2. And if they can learn that they can do that, and they can just kind of memorize what that is, that after they've played this, it should come quickly. So here's the first phrase. Here's the second phrase. But I don't think I would separate these two phrases. I would just have them play straight through and try to nail that in rhythm. So you start with the thirds. You may have noticed that this is a whole note. It stays down for the whole measure. So if you watch my hands, this stays down, but this hand keeps playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that plays for sometimes we say whole note, hold down, 4 beats, which is the beat of the whole measure. This is what the whole rest looks like. You can read that. It just means we just wave with our left hand. It does nothing. Some people say it looks like there is a hole there that you can fall into, so we think of that as a hole. A half rest, like this, is upside down. It looks like a hat. So hat and half, hole, and a hole you fall into. All right, so the bottom one is similar as well. Actually, no, it's not. It's exactly the same. So then they're going to repeat it. there's no repeat here because we did that. So this is the idea here, I think, is just to make sure that they are able to pick that up without having to wait too long. When you start, it's okay to pause and then make sure that they get their hands. It's, as you can see, it's a good idea to have both hands up here at the beginning, but you can pause to prepare. And then once they prepare, then play it properly and keep going. And then as they learn it, they'll take out that pause to prepare. All right, so the next one is the one you'll do at home. This one is super easy. I'm just going to play it. It's all about the rest. Continues. I played the repeat there so they can practice feeling that one beat. All right, and the last one. This one is pretty easy too. It starts by reviewing. It starts on G, 5th finger, and it reviews our seconds. So we're going to play seconds until we get to this measure. This is the measure with the thirds. 1, 2, rest. Rest, rest. Rest. Rest, rest. You'll notice that's in 3, 4 times. So this is how we would count it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't wait. Don't add extra rests in there because it messes up. Okay, it would mess you up because if other people are playing at the same time, we've got to make sure that we don't add extra time in. That way everybody stays together. And then that's what we need to play in the book. And then the homework is really just review. We're talking about harmonic intervals. This is easy to eyeball these seconds, thirds, thirds, seconds, thirds. Keep talking about lines and lines and spaces and spaces. And the quarter rest, this is where we can start to draw them so they can get a sense of what they look like. And remind them that they're just like quarter notes, except that they're silent. So really we just count silently in our head. So these are some things that you can work on together. Whole rest, it looks like a hole. So you kind of draw your little hole in the ground that sits somewhere within the ledger lines of the staff. Okay, and you can work on that together. There's 3 there. All right, have a good week.